Welcome back to IGN Live at Gamescom 2018. I'm James Duggan, and joining me is Oliver Hullis-Like of Saber Interactive. We're going to be discussing World War Z. There's been a resurgence recently of cooperative zombie shooters, one of my favorite genres going all the way back to the early 2000s. What, in your mind, sets World War Z apart?
When we approached the game, the first thing we saw is that movie. You know, it's iconic, those images of swarming zombies just raining down over the cities, flipping buses, climbing up over the wall in Jerusalem. It was clear that that was perfect for a game. So we wanted to create technology that would allow us to recreate that. As you can see on the screen now,
I'll say.
Over 500 zombies pouring down, all trying to eat you alive. So those swarms for us are kind of the main feature of this game, what sets us apart.
And I'm looking at the HUD and the ammo counter, and I'm seeing that we don't have thousands upon thousands of rounds at our disposal, or at least that's not what we're seeing. How are you dealing with these zombies? What are the arsenal choices? And you know, how am I dealing with 500 zombies with like an Uzi?
Well, each level has these unique encounters. So every level has a different one. And swarm encounters like that, you're going to find yourself in a defense zone. So you're going to start looking for these special crates which have defense kits in. And they could be anything from a 50 caliber machine gun to a mortar kit or an electrified fence. Every time you turn up, you're not going to know what to expect. You grab whatever resources you can, plug them in, and get ready to fight. But you're going to have, you know, big 50 caliber machine guns to rip through the zombie swarms with, mortars to just rain down hell on them. You've got heavy weapons. On her back there, you can see that heavy machine gun. We've got grenade launchers, rocket launchers. We've got explosive tip crossbows even. We've got everything in there. The game is built for satisfaction. So we don't give you those zombies and expect you to beat them with a baseball bat. We want you to have locked and loaded and ready to kill.
Fantastic. We're seeing this very, very World War Z-esque zombie ladder or mound.
The pyramids.
How do you go about defeating this?
So the pyramids are great. The physics used means that those are individual enemies crawling over the top of each other. And so just like you would handle that in real life, you can shoot through to the middle of them and drop the pyramid. So in a situation like that, you're trying to manage these pyramids as they climb up the wall to get to you, while grabbing more equipment and grenades and throwing them in. So explosives, heavy machine guns cutting through this so that you can collapse the pyramid.
So we talked about the M249, the M60, all of those really cool weapons. Is that something I'm choosing in a loadout beforehand in terms of my core kit, or am I finding those weapons on site?
Well, the game has a class-based system. So the player will choose a class they want to play with, and that class will have a basic loadout. But that's just how you start the level. As you go through, you're going to find weapons of all kinds: shotguns, machine guns, assault rifles, Uzis, whatever it is. And any player can pick up any weapon at any point, which means you can find the right tool for the job and then ditch it and find the next one.
Can you walk us through the classes and what choices we'll have there?
I can't reveal too much about the classes yet because we've yet to reveal that stuff, but you're going to have the usual kind of selection. And what it really is, it's about specializing in your role within a team. So people tend to have their favorite way of playing, and we're going to accommodate that. But it also means that each time you approach a level, you can find the right class for that level and balance your team out to get the right player forces.
You mentioned different play styles, and one of my favorite parts from a different trailer is that there is a side-by-side comparison of somebody going through with an LMG, somebody going through with a silenced like 9mm pistol, and the enemy reaction is very different. So tell me about the replay value, and tell me about the AI that is choosing when and where these swarms are being sent out.
We have a really cool dynamic in the game, which is that the enemies, the equipment, the weapons, they're all procedurally generated based on the player's performance. So you're going to select a difficulty level in the beginning, but within that difficulty level, you have a spectrum. If the player's struggling, they've all got low health, no medkits, it's going to drop a couple of medkits in for you, maybe spawn a few less zombies that time round. Next time, if you're doing really well and you've got a grenade launcher ready to go, they're going to give you something to shoot at. We've got open windows, doors, trucks they can climb over, so zombies can come at you from lots of different angles. First playthrough, you'll go into a room, it'll be full. Next time, there'll be just a couple in there. If there's a couple, you could choose to go silenced pistol and handle the situation silently. If there's a lot of them, you can throw grenades in there and go that way. So each time you play a level, you're going to have a different strategy.
So you mentioned the adaptive difficulty. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Is there kind of a penultimate challenge, a flat difficulty at the top for players who want to be hyper-competitive, or is that not what World War Z is about?
Well, I mean, we've got 5 difficulty levels right now, and that top one is tough. You know, there's no denying it. But by the time you've built up your classes, and there's also a weapon progression as well, and you know how to play the game, you're going to be able to approach it. But it's going to be really difficult.
We're seeing some of the specifics here.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through what's happening on screen?
Okay, so these are a variety of different swarm encounters. This one's in a parking garage. This is the one from the New York level. You can see those zombies just doing anything to get up to you. You're going to have natural points in the level that you can choose to shoot from, advantageous places, that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. We have this adaptive swarm control.
Yeah.
And then zombie mechanics, enemy archetypes, and special infected, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
are a core part of this genre.
Right,
so what kind of archetypes are you working with?
So we have the big heavies, as usual. We have kind of sneaky stealth zombies that hide in the dark corners. We've got toxic zombies where if you shoot them in the wrong place, you get a huge stink cloud comes out. And we've got screamers who are going to bring in even more enemy. And one of the great things about the game is that it's 4-player co-op, right? And the game is built to encourage cooperative play. So if you run off on your own and a special zombie jumps out and pins you down, you can't get away on your own. You need a teammate by your side to help you out in that situation.
Let's talk about the multiplayer. Is there any kind of out-of-game progression, or is there a kind of flat power level that I'm going into each match with?
So rather than power level or kind of character levels, it's about how far you've progressed with a particular class. So as you build up experience by playing with that class, you can use that experience to unlock a skill tree. It's a very varied skill tree. So again, specializing how you want to play. That class system is transferable to any character in any episode. So you can hop between the episodes without losing your progress.
Fantastic. Tell me about the characters. World War Z, obviously a very narrative franchise.
Yeah.
What are we working with in terms of our core cast as well as episodes?
So when we thought about the story, we wanted to take it a couple of months into the conflict to start looking at the people who had survived that far. What kind of minds did they have? It's not just about whether they're strong enough physically. It's about whether they have the psychology to see horror after tragedy after horror and still keep going. And so each character has a unique story. We have a fantastic animator making these really classy cinematics for each of them to introduce their story. And their voiceover and dialogue is all reflective of that.
You spoke to me about the enemy AI spawner and kind of the adaptive challenge. Does that confer a sense of replayability? Is this a game that I'll be able to play the same level dozens of times and still find something new?
That's the idea. I mean, you can enjoy playing the story campaign from start to finish over all 3 episodes and kind of learn about the world, but then you're going to want to go back into these levels and try them with different strategies. Like I said, that adaptive AI is spawning different weapons in different situations. So, one time you work in, you got the SAW 249. Next time you've just got a couple of shotguns. Can you handle it? So each time is going to feel different.
Really cool. There's some non-combat things going on that are equally important, I think, as the weapons, like health supplies.
Yep.
What kind of cool, maybe grenades or deployables are we working with in World War Z?
We've got some cool stuff. There's a supply bag which you can drop, which gives every player the opportunity to pick up some explosive ammo. We've got stim guns, which means you can boost each other's health. We got tasers. We got all kinds of stuff in there.
You sound like Hudson from Aliens when he's running down the arsenal. Tell me about the various environments that we'll be playing through.
Well, in our 3 episodes, we've got New York City, we've got Moscow, and we've got Jerusalem. So first of all, you've got 3 different climates. Moscow, you're going to see the kind of deep frozen snow. The frozen ice on the river. In New York, you've got this urban jungle with the kind of abandoned cars and the tanks that have pulled up. And then in Jerusalem, you've got whole levels inside desert areas, and it's going to feel very varied. That's the idea.
And how long would you say a particular mission is? And in these environments, are there multiple missions, or how does that work?
Yeah, so each episode has 3 chapters that tells the kind of arc of the story. Each chapter is, a different encounter. And over the 3 episodes, you're looking at 9 levels at the moment. And we're even considering potentially adding more content to the release.
So I'm looking at the weapons on characters' back. We have a grenade launcher, which is a weapon I would certainly want in this kind of scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have something like a high-caliber sniper rifle, which, while certainly cool, may not be as proficient against the hordes, or at least I would think. How do you go about balancing those?
Well, the thing is, there's a tool for every job, right? And in some cases, if you're in a tightly packed corridor, you definitely don't want that grenade launcher on your back. So instead, you pick up the other heavy, which is the automatic shotgun, which you see on Arnetta's back right there. So you can just rip through massive clouds of enemies. Like I say, the Barrett sniper rifle you've got there, you can rip through a great crowd of enemies.
So it's got like fantastic bullet penetration.
Yeah, ripping limbs
enemies
off left, right, and center.
The character models are really nice. And is there anything we can do in terms of aesthetic customization to kind of personalize, or is this rather their tale?
In the initial release, we're looking at these basic characters. In terms of the aesthetics. But what I like so much about the way we've done this is the universe can just grow and grow and grow. So aesthetically, we could change outfits, we could change weapons, but also we're going to see new characters, new countries, new environments.
My favorite question to ask developers who are rushing to a launch and just cramming as hard as they can is, tell me about the post-launch support. What are we looking at in terms of things that could potentially come out after the game is live? How long am I going to be able to play this game with new content?
Well, we really want to support it. We've had so much great response over the last couple of days, and also at E3. People want to get into the universe, not just the game. So we intend to continue to support it with new episodes, new DLC, extra enemies, weapons, maps, all that kind of stuff. Potentially even new modes. There's a lot of mileage in this.
Fantastic. Yeah. When can we get our hands on World War Z and on what platforms?
2019 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
On PC, I will certainly be playing it. Thank you so much, Oliver, for stopping by and showing us World War Z. There's so much more good stuff coming here on IGN Live at Gamescom 2018, so don't go anywhere.